As a disclaimer, this video may get a little dark for some, so be aware of that. I'm going to play these videos and then we're going to come back and discuss it.
Single ladies, it may be time to pack your bags. They're trying to send you to a singles boot camp. The organization that will remain unnamed is currently petitioning the White House for a new initiative called Saving America by Saving the Family. Successful completion of the program would mean that couples are ready to walk down the aisle at a communal wedding by the end of the boot camp. The bride and groom would also be matched with a mentor couple to help them to navigate the highs and lows of early marriage. And don't forget to mention cold hard cash. They're offering couples $5,000 if they stay together. They're basically saying women are too picky, we'll just pick somebody for you. This is their solution to the male loneliness epidemic, just mandated by law. Instead of encouraging men to make themselves better catches for the woman that they want by increasing their earning potential, getting an education, being emotionally intelligent, not weaponizing their incompetence, being thoughtful, being kind, going to therapy, healing their past trauma. Instead of bettering the quality of the men in the dating pool, they're just gonna shrink it. I know you've tried it all. Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, Plenty of Fish. You tried meeting men in the wild. Girl, forget all that. Let the government find you a mate, because everybody knows they care about your well-being, am I right? They're in your womb, they're in the classroom, they're in your bedroom, and now they want to be in your marriage. Nothing says freedom like the government wanting to pick your life partner and the father of your children. They don't care about the quality of the marriage, they just care that you are married to a man that could hopefully keep you in line. They can't have these women out here thinking they can be whatever they want to be. We almost had a female president.
As someone that owns a firearm, if somebody tries to take me because I'm unmarried to take me to a camp, I will be using that firearm on the people that take me, and then I will be taking myself after. I will be dying with my dignity. Point blank, period. That's how serious I am about this shit. I will die unmarried. I will die with no children, even if it means that I have to do it by wiping myself off of the planet. If you are not that serious with the decisions that you're making with your mind, with your brain, with your womb, you are not in it. You are not in it for real. You should be willing to risk your own life. You should be willing to make sure that they can never use you as consumption. If every woman offed herself right now, if every single woman offed herself right now, this world would fucking end. This world would fucking collapse. There would be no reason for these men to live. Capitalism would cease to exist. Religion cease to exist. Racism, ableism, ageism, all the isms you could think of would cease to exist. This is the reason why none of this stuff fears me. None of this stuff makes me scared, because I already know I'll take a few out and then take myself out after. Like what? Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. Your first plan of action with anything is to be willing to go out with a bang. You should always be willing to go out with a bang and put your life on the line, because they sure as fuck don't care about yours. You think that they're going to be dragging unmarried people to a camp to teach them the morals and the values of marriage? No. They're going to drag women to camps and R-word women and force you into labor, into pregnancy, so that way capitalism can keep going. They're going to have a camp where they're going to drug you, and they're going to have men inseminate you over and over and over and over and over. And it's really just going to be a breeding camp for women. My life, the quality of my life is worth it to the point where I will never forego the quality of my life just to say that I'm still living, having to endure that. That's the energy that you need to come with. Once you have that energy, once you channel that energy and you're okay with that being the outcome, none of this shit scares you, because you don't care. Because you'll die knowing that, you didn't get a chance to use me. You didn't get a chance to allow my genes to get passed along. Nope. I contributed to further starving this bitch out.
Now, I've been saying the same thing for over a year now, which is I am willing to die. I am willing to even take myself out the game before I allow anybody to force me into a life that I don't want to live. As a woman, I do not believe life is worth living if you are not free. There is no freedom. You don't have a say so over the things that you want to do in your life, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you dress. You can't speak in public. You got to do this, you got to do that. You got to have babies. You have to be quiet when a man is putting his hands on you, whatever it is. I absolutely would rather be unalived before I would ever let that happen. And I am dead serious. I can think of no other reason on the planet that I would want to take myself out but this. I don't want to throw my life away by having kids. I don't want to be stuck in a house married to a man that I don't love, don't like, or even if I did love or like him, I don't want to be stuck in a house with a man. That is not how I pictured my life to be. And if I knew ahead of time that I was not going to be able to live the life that I wanted, AKA all the things that they're implementing in Project 2025, I will not be here. I absolutely will not be here. And as a matter of fact, if I know I'm on my way out, I'm probably going to do my best to eliminate threats for other women on my way out, if you catch my drift. I have no problem with that. But a lot of people will hear this and think, oh, that's never going to happen. Well, seeing as though they're over halfway through Project 2025, they have implemented the things in Project 2025 and they're almost done. I I can't sit here and say, oh, that's never going to happen. Who knows? There's a lot of things happening right now in this administration that people never thought would happen. They got ICE agents out here literally unaliving people in the streets. And make no mistake, those people are going to get away with it. If you recall, during the campaign, the T Man literally said that they're going to grant immunity to any law enforcement officers. So there's that. He also said, vote for me now and you never have to vote again, which means he wants a dictatorship. And everybody is just living life and pretending like these things are not going to happen. We are literally two skips and a hop away from the handmaid's tale. And people are just walking around like, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, I don't have anything to worry about. And maybe it won't. I do think that it's not going to go down the way that they expect. There's a lot of women on social media who share my exact same sentiments, as well as Queen Sovereigns. There's a lot of us out there that are like, oh, honey, count me out. You mean to tell me my life is going to be spent being beaten and tortured and having to serve a man? Oh, I'll find, point me to the nearest cliff. That's what they don't even understand, because there's many things worse than death. Being a slave, being a servant is worse than death. If I was a slave, I would have jumped from that ship too. I'm just saying. Now, I didn't make this video to um make anybody paranoid or to be a Debbie Downer or to get y'all upset or anything. But I do want women to pay attention to what's happening. And like I said before, I vote for the just in case. Okay. I don't know if our votes actually count or not. I really don't. I cannot sit here and say I for sure know they do or I for sure know they don't. I vote just in case they do. Okay. And so I'm going to tell y'all, do not sit this out. All those millions of people who didn't vote is the exact reason why we're in this situation. Now, did they rig the election? Yes. They probably might do it again. That's what the whole thing in Minnesota is. If y'all didn't know, Pam Bondi admitted out of her own mouth that they will leave Minnesota with their ICE agents and all of that if Minnesota handed over their voting records. Like that's why they're there. That's why they're there. They're literally saying we're going to keep unaliving people and we're not going to leave until they get access to whatever voting information that they need. And for all y'all who are going to say that's illegal, that's against the constitutional rights. Look around, baby. Everything that they're doing is quote unquote illegal, and they're still being allowed to do it. And like I said before in another video, they're looking to tear down the entire Constitution. I want y'all to know that. They elected people who were going to be yes men and yes women. Trump got it right this time because the first time he went in and elected people that was educated and that had the knowledge of this and the knowledge of that. And then a lot of those people turned on him because they were not comfortable with the things that he was trying to implement. So when he got in the second time after he rigged and stole the election, in my personal opinion, he made sure he got the bootlickers that he needed. And so because they got all those people on his side, all the yes men and the yes women, they're doing what the hell they want to do, as you can see. So right now, it is important when those midterm elections come up that the last thing we can do, I don't know if it's going to make a difference or not, y'all, but that's the last thing we can do to try to save ourselves, in my opinion, because he's going to carry out the rest of his term, and he might even get another one. And if he don't get another one, it'll be another one of them. I don't think JD Vance could get elected, but at the same time, a lot of people didn't think Trump was going to get elected the first time or the second time. So y'all can keep thinking what may or may not happen. I don't leave nothing to chance. You know, if it's not going to be him, it's going to be somebody just like him or worse. JD Vance is actually worse than Trump. The ways in which he feels about women, he's worse than Trump. So make sure y'all get out and vote just in case, okay? Do not sit at home. You are dumb. You are dumb. I'm telling you to your face. You are dumb if you think, "Oh, I'm just going to vote for the third party. Oh, I'm just going to sit this vote out." You're literally throwing your vote away when you do that. And I know some of y'all are going to get in here and say that this is for white women. So black women are marked safe. We're not. Think Handmaid's Tale, ladies. Y'all really think they're going to let black people walk around free? They have plans for us too. And I'm pretty sure what their plans are is much, much worse. Also, the so called marriage boot camp, okay, listen, it's not going to be a classroom setting where they're like, all right, come in class, everybody get a syllabus. All right, let's discuss the benefits of marriage and why it's so important to save the United States. That is not going to be it. Best believe the guys like you or whatever, just because you're a woman, they're going to let those men torture you, gang you, and all types of stuff because the goal is to beat you into submission. They're going to be able to torture you, probably experiment on you, do shock treatments and all of that, waterboarding. I promise you it's not going to be some formal classroom setting if they successfully haul you off to those boot camps. Something to think about. And like I said, you're not taking me to the second location. They always tell people when you're being kidnapped, fight like hell. Do not let them take you to your second location because your chances of survival in that case is near zero. Same thing here. I would rather take myself out the game. Okay. That's just me. I'm not telling y'all what to do. You have to sit there and think about what you're willing to do in this situation and get ready to vote in the midterms and vote these motherfuckers out. If that doesn't work, I'm thinking the next best thing would be to get your passports, and I have no idea where to go. I can't even sit here and pretend like I know where to tell y'all to go because I don't even know where I want to go. I do know for sure I want to get out of the U.S. at some point, but it's just something that y'all got to start thinking about. This shit is getting real. They are doing everything they can to keep their numbers alive because in the next decade or two they're going to be a minority, and we know that that demographic will do anything to steal power and keep their power. We know this. The history of this entire country is founded upon stealing from others, racism, white supremacy, genocide, slavery, you name it. That is literally the foundation of this country after it was stolen, and that's how it's been run ever since. So you know that demographic is willing to do anything under the sun. And it's not saying all of them, but high 90 percentile of them. Let's be real. Let's be real. So I just want y'all to think about what y'all are planning to do. This is not to fearmonger, but it is to light a fire under your ass, to get you thinking, to get you out there to vote just in case our votes count. Just do it and we'll see what happens. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are planning. I want to know how many of y'all on this platform are willing to take yourselves out the game before you allow yourself to be tortured by men. Because that's exactly what they're going to do. And also, too, if you are married, you're not safe either, okay? Because if men know that they can still dog walk you, and they know you can leave and file for divorce, what do you think is going to happen when they know you can't leave? And I've asked this question on a dozen videos now. What do you think they're going to do? How do you think they're going to start acting when they're like, oh, bitch, you can't leave? I could do what I want to do. And they'll take it a step further. At some point in time, if they implement this, they're going to make it legal to are your wife again because she's your property. They're going to make it legal for them to beat their wives, maybe even unalive her if she gets out of hand, if she's not obedient. Because if y'all haven't been paying attention, everything in Project 2025 has been to undo all the progress that we made in this country. They're literally undoing it one by one. So if you really think that they're not going to send it back to where women have no rights at all, we're headed there. So you can't sit on your ass. You can't think, oh, somebody else will handle it. Somebody else will deal with it. Oh, it's not going to happen. That's why we're in the situation we're in now in this country, because a lot of people sat on their hands and thought they were being a smartass by not voting or by voting third party and all that stuff, stupid shit. Throwing your vote away. When you don't vote, you don't have a voice. That is what that means. You're basically nobody. You basically don't even exist. Your rights don't matter. You don't matter. Your kids' futures don't matter. We've been telling y'all to stop having kids. Y'all keep having them. They're not even going to have freedom. They're not going to even have fucking rights. And y'all are still like, oh, I want to have a baby. You ain't even finna have no rights. And y'all think they're going to just force women to marry and that's it? No, they're going to be forcing y'all to have babies too, even when you don't want them. And if you are infertile, or if you've had a hysterectomy, or you've had your tubes tied, they're just going to use you for slave labor because they can't use you no other way. So they're going to be like, oh, okay, this bitch got the dishes. All right, well, she's useless. Put her out in the fields picking fruit, literally. So you're not safe. So I want y'all to get y'all's heads out of y'all's asses and start paying attention to the shit that we're in and figure out how the fuck we finna get out of it. But that's it. That's all I got to say. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think and what y'all are planning to do. In code, obviously. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.
All together, girls. 1, 2, 3. Fuck these men on the internet. They don't know what they want, but they will see what they can get. Oh, go and waste your one and only precious life while pretending not to have a full receding hairline. So keep your eyes on his hairline and your hand on your drink. For all you know, he is a psychopath. He'll leave you on red and he won't care if you're dead. And the psychics on TikTok are wrong.